Good morning, students. Well, myself Tarun Solanki, and again I am here with a new chapter of computer application, chapter number 3, and name of the chapter is types of software. This is the video 1 in which I am going to cover near about half of the chapter, and in this half of the chapter, the topics which I am going to cover, which I am going to discuss, which I am going to explain you, and they are introduction, then the types of software in which system software, application software. In system software, we will discuss about operating system, language processor, utilities software. In the topic operating system of system software, we will discuss about the works and the functions of operating system. In language processors, we will talk about translators, a translator, assembler, interpreter and compiler will be discussed. Whereas in utilities or utilities software, we will discuss about the file management, antivirus and encryption and decryption software. So first of all, introduction. You have to listen it carefully. Introduction. You must also be impressed with the speed and versatility of computer. Versatility, speed. Versatility means the power to work, and the speed, the power to process. Isn't it the proficiency, versatility and processing speed of a desktop computer have advanced to such an extent that any type of information and data processing like child's play to machine which are now available. All this has become possible because of the incredible software and program that enables computer to perform almost any type of task. Most of the currently possible tasks can be broadly divided into dozen categories. Even with a specific category, there are many types of jobs that a desktop is capable to perform. This chapter is dedicated to the computer software that played a very important role in making computers a household name. So, in last chapter, in the previous chapter, I told you about the versatility and speed of the computer. Versatility, the power of a computer which makes it work for a long time without getting tired. So versatile. First point is that it never gets tired, and versatile, it can do a lot of jobs in a simultaneous way. In a simultaneous way means several works are going in a parallel manner. So, software. Before discussing about the types of software, we must know, we should be aware that what a software is. What a software is, basically, to understand it, we should assume an example, or we can understand with an example. We can understand it with an example that if we are instructed or ordered to do a particular type of work. For example, if our mother gives us some money and a carry bag and says or instructs us that we have to go to the market. You have to go to the market and you have to purchase several things from a grocery shop, from a confectionery shop. And after all this, you go to the market, you take the instructions, you take the money and you go to the grocery shop and a confectionery shop. And you purchase all those desired items. You pay for that, and just you take all those things in the carry bag and you come to home. And then tell your mother that The whatever work she has given, whatever work she has allotted, you have completed that. You have completed that. In the same manner, we can understand that what a software is basically the instructions which we are giving to a computer. The instructions which we are giving to a computer, also called commands. Also called commands. When these commands are kept, when these commands are kept in a manner, when these commands are kept in a manner or in a particular sequence in which it can work properly. So these commands, they become a set of instructions. Set of instructions, they become a program. They become a program. And when similar type of programs are arranged in a sequence which can be processed by a computer. Remember one thing, similar type of programs, they are arranged in a sequence which can be processed by a computer. These set of programs, these set of instructions, collectively known as software. Basically, the software, it is divided into two parts. First one is system software and second one is application software. In simple words, we can understand that system software, a kind of software which is meant for the computer. Whereas application software, it is meant for the user. System softwares, they are required by the computer for the proper functioning. System software, it is required by the computer for the proper functioning, whereas application softwares are provided to the users for particular work. So system software, they are pre-installed, as well as application software, they are also pre-installed. If a computer is having an application software, but system software is missing, the computer will not work. When we reverse it, a computer is having system software, but it is not having application software. So what will happen? The computer will work, but the user is not able to work on the computer if application software is missing. Most of the things, system software, basically it comes along with operating system. System software, it comes along with operating system, or we can say that operating system comes along with system software. So operating system, it is also a kind of system software. Now, system software and operating system. Operating system, we can say that system software comes along with operating system, whereas operating system, we can say that operating system comes along with system software. Operating system, OS. In short, it is called OS. OS, it is the base, or it is the base on which computer will work. Example, Windows. Windows is an operating system. Linux, Unix, it is also an operating system. And nowadays, we all are using smartphones. Some smartphones, they are window based, and some smartphones, they are coming with Android operating system. So Android is also a new operating system. Basically, most of the people in the world, most of the users in the world which are using computer, they are using Windows in a large number as an operating system, whereas Unix and Linux, they are also used as an operating system. Linux and Unix are also used as operating system. iPhone, iPhone, it is having a different operating system. It is having a different operating system. Neither it is using Windows or neither it is using Android. They are using their own operating system. They are using their own operating system. iOS. iOS. So, operating system. I hope that you understood it, that what operating system is. The main thing to understand about the operating system is that without operating system, a computer can't work. Without operating system, a computer can't work. Now, second thing is language processor. Language processors. What are the language processors? Language processors are language processors or translators. They are also a bridge between the user and the computer, as we all know from the primary level. As we all know from the primary level that computer is not able to understand Hindi, English or whatever local language it is. It understands only one language, and that is of 0 and 1, which is termed as binary language. So these language processors, they are divided into three parts, or they are having three parts, and they are assembler, interpreter and compiler. So these language processors or translators, they change the input given by the user in any language into 0 and 1. Then the computer is able to understand that what the user wants in the output. It will change that input into 0 and 1. Then all the processing will be done after converting them into 0 and 1 in the binary language. So what the assembler does? Assembler converts the high level language into machine language, or assembly language into machine language. High level language, the language of mnemonics or the keywords which are in English. High level language, the keywords which are in English, they are converted into 0 and 1 by the help of assembler. The assembly language is converted into machine language by assembler. Whereas interpreter, it also converts the high level language. Into machine language by executing the program one line at a time. During the conversion of high level language into machine language, interpreter converts the entire program, entire instructions, line by line, one line at a time. Whereas compiler, it also changes the high level language into machine language, but the difference between interpreter and compiler is interpreter is also converting high level language into machine language, whereas compiler is also converting the high level language into machine language. But the main difference, the only difference between interpreter and compiler is that interpreter compiles the program line by line, whereas compiler changes the high level language or compiles the program, the whole program, in or at one time. It means either a program, it is having 10 lines or it is having 20 lines, they all will be combined and will be compiled. Then after, if any errors are there, it will warn the user and it will indicate the errors after compiling the whole program. And this happens In compiler. This happens in compiler where an interpreter, as it is compiling or it is changing high level language into machine language line by line. If assume that interpreter is compiling the program and it is having a doubt. It is having a doubt, or it finds any mistake, or it finds any error in the program. It will stop there only. It will stop there only. Then after you have to make the changes in that wrong code, and again you have to compile it. Again the interpreter will compile it line by line, and if any error is not there, it will execute the program. Third thing in system software, and it is that it is utility programs. Utility programs means some programs which are required by the user time to time. Not all time, not every time, but they are required by the user time to time, in which file management, antivirus, encryption and decryption software. So, in first part of utilities, and that is file management. Utility software is a program which organizes and tracks and keeps the record of the files and folders which are stored in the computer. It keeps the records of files and folders which are stored in the computer. Antivirus program. There is no need to run it again and again. The basic work of antivirus is that it keeps the viruses away. From the computer. You can run it manually, or you can time it to work automatically. On a particular time, or on an particular activity. For example, while surfing the net, antivirus checks for the malicious websites, and it will warn the user that this website which you want to open or which you are trying to open, it is malicious or spurious, or it is harmful, it can harm the computer. So file management, it keeps the records of files and folders. File management or file manager, it keeps the records of files and folders which are stored in the computer, and whenever required, you can access those files and folders and retrieve the content of those files and folders in an easy manner. Whereas second thing in utilities, it is antivirus. As I told you earlier, it keeps the viruses away from the computer. It can work manually. Whenever you want to scan the computer, you can scan it manually. Just run the antivirus and it will search for the viruses and malicious content or harmful contents. Harmful files, contents means files and folders. Third thing here, and that is encryption and decryption. Encryption and decryption software. So before understanding or before discussing about the encryption and decryption software, let me tell you about the process of encryption and decryption, that what encryption is and what decryption is. Listen to an example. You are chatting with one of your friends, or you are chatting with with one of your colleague of your office and you are sending message. You are sending message. First user sends the message to the second user. First user sends the message to the second user from first user's computer to second user's computer. The message is sent from first user computers to the second user's computer. Before reaching, after the message is released from the computer of the first user, it travels in a network. It travels in a network before reaching to the second user's computer. Before reaching to the second user's computer, it travels in a network. It travels in a network. So, just because of confidentiality of the message, it is encrypted into the language of 0 and 1. It is encrypted in the language of 0 and 1. You have written, first user have written the message in English or Hindi or whatever local language. When it will travel in the network, it will be encrypted just because of security and confidentiality purposes. And when the message will reach to the second user, till that, after released, when the message released from the first computer and it reaches to the second computer, it is in the network. And till the message is traveling in the network, till the time the message is traveling in the network, it is encrypted or it is in the language of code. It is in the language of codes or it is in the code language. So this process of changing of language is called encryption. Whereas this decryption, changing that code language into source language. Source language as it was written in English or Hindi. And when it was traveling in the network, it was encrypted in the codes, and when it will reach to the second user's computer, again it will be decrypted. In the source language. It was Hindi or English.